this man experienced another miscarriage. It was heartbreaking to me. You know what I mean? Because to me, I felt like this is my job as a woman to do this, and I just can't get it right.
Starlit sky lit up your eyes. I could barely breathe no matter how I tried. I held you close.
The last one happened in 2017, and that one is what broke me. Honestly, that child, the experience with my son was a lot to bear. Honestly, we did everything. We did everything we could have done for my son. Honestly, we did. So I found out that I was pregnant, and straight away I made a decision, bed rest completely. So I went and I got my checkup at the hospital this time. And I went to the hospital and I told him what the case was. And I went to the specialist. The doctor informed me to go to the specialist. So he sent me to the specialist and he said, well, okay, this is your experience, so you will need a cerclage. And I will put what the cerclage is up there. And the cerclage we will stitch your womb to keep the baby up. So I was like, well, he said, well, the cerclage can only be put in at 13 weeks. I'm like, 13 weeks, that's when I had the other miscarriage. He said, well, that's the only time you can have it. So I was like, okay. So my boyfriend and I make a decision. Stop. Wait. This is exactly. Go so! That's exactly what I mean. Right, so the cerclage is a stitch that you have to hold up your womb, and we had the cerclage. So, right, right. So he said 30 weeks. So I was like, all right. So I was home and I was on bed rest completely. I did not do much moving. I ate. I went to the bathroom, back to bed. I watched dramas and this really awesome variety reality show that I love so much, and laughed my ass off my whole pregnancy. So toilet, bed, eat, bed, did not do a lot, period. Got every time I went for my checkup, I would get a taxi, go there, sit down, and get my injections that they would give me. Every week I would get an injection, and then every week they would check me and make sure everything was good. So I went and I made sure that everything was done, and then when my 13 weeks came, I went to the doctor and he's like, well, time for your cycle. So I had money in the bank and that I was saving, so we used that, and my boyfriend got some money and we went there and I got the circle. So when I got there now, a friend of mine accompanied me there, and we went in. They got, as soon as I walked into the surgery room, they were waiting for me. So we got there. I got into this wheelchair that I had, and my friend pushed me there. I was not walking. I was very serious. My child was not coming and going anywhere. He was gonna come. I was very determined to make sure my son come here. So I got into my wheelchair. My friend pushed me. I went and I pee at the counter in the wheelchair because I ain't getting up until I get to that surgery table. So we got there and he pushed me upstairs. They pulled me and he's like, okay, come on in. They're waiting for you. They get me dressed. They took notes, had me sign things while trying to dress me, undress me. And then they got into the stuff. They helped me. I walked slow as hell. But again, my son is not going to come out. So we got there and I got on the bed and I said hi to the doctor, and the anesthesiologist came and they were like, what's your name? I told them my name, and they're like, are you nervous? Nope, I just wanted to get in. You know what I mean? I just wanted to get in. So like, okay, well, we're about to give you drugs. They're like, it's like wine. I said, well, I hope this wine is good wine, because I'm about to drink some wine right now. So they got me this wine and I felt like, ooh, yeah, things happening. So they're like, we're gonna count you out. I'm like, there, you're gonna count back the usual stuff, and I count back, and then I get to 5. I'm like, yep, I'm about to fall asleep. That's exactly what I said, and then they laughed, and then I was out. So while I was there, I guess it was an hour. That's just before that. I asked how long it would take. This was not long. They said, well, it's not gonna be long. It's gonna be like half an hour. So I was like, okay. So then when I got up on the surgery table, I got up and I was coughing, like legit trying to cough my lungs out. So I'm there, I'm coughing, I'm coughing. They're like, it's okay, you're gonna be fine. I'm like, why am I coughing? That's the first thing that come out of my head when I got up. Not because I was still on the surgery table, you know. And I got up with a fit of cough. So I'm like, why am I coughing? They're like, we don't know. I'm like, what the heck? So I'm coughing, I'm choking. I don't know what position they had me. Like a lot of saliva went somewhere by my lungs, and I was in a coughing fit. All here hurt me the next day, but I go ahead of the story. But still, so they got me on the table. They got me from the table, put me on the bed, and then I got up because I didn't go back to sleep. So I called my mom. I called my friend. I said, yo, I just don't come out of it. Call my mom and tell her to come for me. So my mom came for me and pushed me down in the wheelchair. And we were in front of the hospital. And mom and I were excited because we were in so much tension for those last 13 weeks. We were in a lot of tension. I was in a lot of mommy groups. And I wanted to know what age does an infant survive miscarriage and whatever. So I was like preparing myself, you know. And I packed my bag and everything, you know, to get ready for delivery and everything. And I said, I'm only going to start buying things when I get to start college because I'm not going to waste money buying anything. So then mom came for me, and we got downstairs, and I'm like, man, we're about to have a baby. She's like, yay. That was the first time mom was ever excited. I'm so very serious. That was the first time she was excited. So we got home and everything was good. Mom was planning for baby. Everything was going well, and I got up and I start walking and I start cleaning and doing things. And my wife was like, still take it light, you don't do too much. So I was like, yeah, for sure, because it's just a sore clot. So we were there, and then I eventually tell everyone, because I didn't tell anyone I was pregnant. I didn't even tell my boss I was pregnant. I just told her that I was sick, and that was the truth. Because I was in a lot of pain too during that time, and my back was hurting, the same usual stuff, and I couldn't move too much, and always back and forth between the hospital to make sure that everything was good. So it was a lot of rushing. They were very delicate because it was a very delicate case. So they wanted to make sure that everything was well and good with me. So they constantly used to check me out. Every week I was at the doctor. Every week they saw me, made sure everything was good. I was a whole regular. So we didn't stop the weekly visits. They still continue the weekly visits to make sure that everything was well. So one visit to the doctor, I went to the bathroom, and when I looked down, there were a lot of whites on my underwear. I mean, like, so much. So when I got into the room and she checked the baby's heartbeat, everything was going well. And during the course of the time before that, for the first time, I felt my kid move. I was 20 weeks pregnant at that point. And before that, we felt him move bowels, and he used to. He was. It was. He was an amazing baby. I must say, he was an amazing baby. He didn't want for much. The others always want for much, especially the girl. She was daddy's girl. She was full daddy's girl. My girl, whenever he is around, she would be good. I would feel good. Everything was good. I don't know, there was just this thing with her and him, there was this connection. And then when he left, it was all hell broke loose. Like, she's like, where is he? Why is he not here? And with this baby, he was the calmest thing ever. He didn't like his father. The first one that didn't like his father, but he used to move a lot. He was very patient. He was very obedient, and he was the best pregnancy for me that I've had, you know. So the day when I got there again, I had a lot of whites, and I told the doctor, well, I see a lot of whites down there. What is that? So she said, okay, I don't know. So she came back with another doctor to check, and they're like, well, your womb is kind of, well, your bag your water bag is protruding through your womb, through the circlot section. I'm like, huh? So they're like, well, we need to take you up to the ward now immediately so that you can go on an elevated position. So I was like, okay, so they put me in a wheelchair and they wheel me up there. They called up and said, well, this is the emergency position that you need to put her in. So I'm like, okay. So I got up now and I sat down in the bed and I'm like, geez, I called my boyfriend. I'm like, yo, I up in the ward and I don't know. They said that the womb is protruding. So yeah. So he's like, okay. I said I'll keep you posted, but I don't think anything is wrong. He said, fine. So so I got up there. The nurse came to me and she's in a chair sitting down and she's like, well, taking my name, taking information, and then I'm like, then she got up and she moved the bed. And I'm like, okay. So I said, this is the position. She said, yeah. So she said, well, I can't do it more. I'm going to go get someone else to come. I can't lift it anymore. I'm going to go get someone else to come and do it. So I'm like, okay. Because she said, my back is hurting me and all. I'm like, all right. So she's there now and food is coming around and I'm hungry because I didn't eat. I ate the morning, but I didn't eat anything. So I'm like, geez, the food is all over there. I didn't even ask anybody to come from get it for me, to bring it closer, and I don't want to move. So I sat down there and it was starting to hurt. So I was like, nurse, you gotta come and check me. It's really hurting now. And put me in this emergency position. So I sat down there for an hour and a half waiting for this woman to come. And she didn't show up. So when I moved now to get the food, all I hear was psh, and my water popped. And I was like, man, what? Seriously, so I just dropped the spoon. And I was like, is this some bullshit or what? So I am there and I was like, Jesus, cheese and hamburgers. This is some. I just got so mad. And I was like, so nurse, my water broke. She's like, really? I'm like, yep. So she came and everybody started rushing in, coming, and they checked and they said, well, you have a sarcoidosis. And I'm like, yep. And they said, well, we gotta take it out before the child comes. I was like, okay. So they said, well, we're gonna come for you in a few hours and take you to the theater and take it out. I was like, all right. So they came and I got to theater and this other doctor is there. So he's put me up in these bracers or whatever, putting that stupid tool. I really dislike this tool, you know. I am so very serious. Puts in this tool and then open it up and look inside and I thought he was gonna put me to sleep, right? To take out this thing, right? This doctor snipped this thing and he pulled this rubbery material that was in on my whatever that is. I gotta put the name there. And he pulled and I felt like he was pulling my womb out and I am screaming my head off. And I'm like, this is hurting. What are you doing? He's like, well, you have to bear it. There's then he is to give me some stupid reply talking about well, you knew this was gonna happen if you have sex. I was like, yo. So he pulled and I screamed and it came out. I was like, wow, this is sorry ma. Sorry ma, it's the emotion. So sorry about the cursing. I was like, what the hell? So we got back there, I got up and I walked back to my ward because my mom was outside there with waiting for me too. So I got back to my ward and my boyfriend came and he saw me and then he went home. So I'm there and I got an infection and I started to get a cold. I was hot, so I took off the sheet and then I got a cold and I put it back on and the doctor. So I got up and I was in a lot of pain. And I went to the doctor and I was like, you can give me some painkillers? She's like, we can't give you painkillers. We just give you some, so you gotta wait a little more. I was like, okay. So I got back to bed and I am in a lot of pain and this thing is killing me. And during this pregnancy, I learned to do a focal point. And the focal point is to get the smallest thing in the room and concentrate on that And what I used to do is have my boyfriend put his elbow in the softest material on my legs, and he would press that a lot. And I would sit there and look at this focal point, and then I would let him gauge, and then he would just press and press and press for a long time to get the pain out, right? And then he would stop. So when he's done, my legs was pink, but I did not scream. I bear the pain, so I start a focal point. So I was like, all right. So the pain started at 12, and I focal point, and I was like, and I focal pointing. I'm like, yeah, though, this pain, boy, and I'm telling you, I could feel the pain, and these things move. But it's so that if you act up more, you will feel the pain more. So I decide to be calm, to let those good endorphins, is that the word? I need to Google it. Endorphins work through, because once that happens, you're calm. It will your cervix will open up faster. That good hormones will work to open it up faster, and baby comes out. So I'm like, you will not behave no sorry way. Either way, I didn't scream and be able. I didn't do all that dramatic stuff. That's not make a beer pain very well. So I sat down and I do the focal point and I breathe and I listened to Beyonce album that she had brought out then. I think it was Lemonade. And I sat down and I listened to that and I was like, yo, no, Lemonade's starting to get my nerves. Like put a crossover. I was about this lemonade life no more. So I sat down and I just quiet my mind and I do it and it came out. So eventually after sitting there or laying there for about 5 hours, I felt this uncomfortable things started to come through. I'm like, nurse, something's coming out. I said he's coming out. No way, I didn't know what the baby was. We didn't go back to see what the baby was yet. So I'm like, the baby is coming out. And she said, well, take off your pants. I'm like, I can't. Like, the kid is coming out. I can't move. It's uncomfortable. There is something pushing between my cervix. I can't just close my legs to then take my pants off because then I have to get up and that's gonna rest somewhere. So I can't do that. It's just I don't know what the hell, if she was careful or something. I do not know. But the woman didn't come and help. So I got up and I take my pants off. The other nurse came in, look at she, and she helped me take my pants down. And then I got there, and then there's like, I'm coming. So when they left, I decided to take a whole photograph of him coming out. And they came and asked, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing, nothing. They're like, you taking a video? I'm like, nope. So I'm like, nope, I'm not taking a video. So I then he came out and I'm like, put him on my chest, and she's like, well, hold on. So she put him on some blue thing that they put on the bed, and I didn't want him there. I find that to be nasty, so I stretched into my suitcase and I brought this little comforter that I brought with me, and I lift him and I put him on my chest. And she came and she's like, wow, you're brave. I'm like, well, he's my son, he's my child. I didn't know what it was yet. And I would put a photograph of him when he just came out, and I hold him and I put him on my chest and I looked at him, and then the placenta started to come out, and pushing him out was easier than the placenta, honest to God. Like, I don't know if you ladies can relate though, but at that point he was 21 weeks. I didn't get to mention that, so I had actually birthed him, and when he came out, he was very much alive. He was very much intact, as you can see, and he. So I had to push him out, and then the placenta came out, and that bad boy was a pusher, so I had to push that one out, and then they cut the placenta, cleaned me up, took me away, and asked me if I want to keep the baby, and I was like, no. Yeah, if I want to keep him, I was like, yeah, I'll keep him for a little while. So they were like, okay. So they left, and I was there, and I recorded him, and I look at his foot. And his arms, and I just was in awe of how beautiful he was to me. And I just spoke with him because they say that they can hear you. And I told him that mom and dad is so happy to have you here, and we wanted him so badly and how we are sorry that this experience happened for him, and we we're just sorry. So he was there, and then I saw his little heart beating as I was posting the video. And I don't know, I felt really sorry towards him for him to have to go through this, because I sat down with my son, who was very much alive, and watched him suffocate to death. It wasn't a good experience to watch another human being die, and then to watch for that human being to be your child. It wasn't a good experience at all. And I didn't just want to be like, here nurse, he's dying. I would not have done that. So then I hold him and I make him as comfortable as I could, and I watch him as he, breathe. and then he died. So I felt sorry towards him, honestly, for another human to die like that, to be able to come into the world and then just die like that in so much pain. It was too much for me. That's what I said, that this one broke my heart, because the others came out and they were practically dead, so I didn't get to see that. But for me to see him the way he was fully developed, and for me to then watch him die, and then for him to struggle, he struggled to hold on, and I am looking at him and I can see veins on his hands, and I'm like, why isn't there any equipment in this goddamn hospital that can be able to put my son in incubator? I have seen hospitals done that, and why don't they have this? They're telling me that they only have incubators for children at 24 weeks, and I'm like, really? That is it? So weird. He's there, and his father came at 6, just as he died. He came, and I gave him and said, here, he's a boy, and this is who he is. And for me to sit down and watch this man experience another miscarriage, it was heartbreaking to me. You know what I mean? Because to me, I felt like this is my job as a woman to do this, and I just can't get it right. Like, why can't I get this right is what I am thinking, So we hold him, and Christopher was there because he got sneaked in again. Nurses just tend to like him, and she said, well, you gotta go now because you're not supposed to be here so early. So I hold him, and then I went to sleep, and then a nurse came and said, well, she came in, and she and another lady came to clean up. So when they pulled the blind, the lady screamed, and I walk up and look at her, so I think like, what the hell were you screaming? And she said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to react that way. Well, my son, he was white now, and you could see that he was pale. So I'm like, seriously, you're in hospital on a ward that has miscarriage? Like, how is this scary to you? Like, seriously, I try my best not to take it as an insult, but seriously, like, you're in a ward where children die. You should be used to seeing something like this. I don't know if they didn't used to him seeing, well, the mom still have him or whatever, because I still had him on my chest and I wasn't about to let him go. She said, well, we have to clean him, so you have to put him in the little square thing that they put him in. And I was like, geez, so you're gonna bring him back? And she's like, yeah. So they came and they cleaned me up, and I didn't see him back. They didn't bring him back. Why are these people always lying? Like, seriously, stop lying though. It's not necessary. So the doctor came, and she is then to say, I am sorry. I'm like, really? You're sorry? I said, you and I both know that this could have been avoided if that nurse hadn't sit her ass down and had come and put me in the rightful position that I needed to go into, none of this would have happened. But we are not then she used to then to say, well, you can't say that. I said, yes, I can say that, because that same girl over there came in with the same exact situation, and she was put into that position. What happened to my position? That is the reason why my son, did you know that she leave me here an hour and a half to sit down while you tell her this is an emergency case? My heavyweight on my bag, and you're telling me that we, like, listen to me, I don't have time for you to be lying to me and giving me this bullshit talk. So just do what you gotta do. You come to check me, just check me. So she checked me, she asked me, is everything good? How is the pain? I said the pain is good. And the other girl is there. This is the girl I was seeing during the course of the pregnancy. She's there and she's like sympathetic and stuff like that. She's like, I am so very sorry that this happened. I'm like, thank you. So the woman left, and there was this little bit nurse on the ward that thinks she was all of that. And I wanted to get out of there again. So the drops that was in my hand wasn't coming through. So I told her if you could come and flush it. She told me she can't flush it. I have to wait for the doctor. I'm like, well, there was another nurse that was here. Ask her to flush it, or let me show you how to flush it, because I can flush it too. So she's walking all about the place. I got up and I asked another nurse and said, or a doctor, you couldn't help me flush this? She's like, well, there's another nurse. I said, yeah, the nurse, but she's over there. I asked her to do it for like an hour and she didn't. So one night she said, okay, I'll go get her, or I'll come and do it for you. So I said, okay, I'm going to go into the bathroom. Went into the bathroom, come back out, where she is, where she at, what's this she's saying? So when she came out now, she's like, so what's that you saying? I said, well, listen, no. She said, what's that you saying? I said, well, I asked you to flush this for me and you didn't. And she said, well, I told you that I was coming. I said, yeah, you told me you was coming here an hour ago. So why you ain't come yet? I want to go home, so I want you to flush this for me before I go. And then she started giving me bare attitude. I said, listen to me, I will not be treated like nobody else in here. I'm paying my freaking money for this. At the end of the day, I'm paying for this, and two, your ass and everybody else here is freaking reason why my child isn't here. So do not get me on my nerves. Understand? Just flush my shit so I could go home. So for the rest of the day, she avoided me. And somebody else came in and they did it for me, and they're like, what happened, got you work up? So listen, them got me work up. Doctor, when I could go home? He's like, well, it just happened, so you gotta wait for a few. So listen to me, what gonna happen now? He said you gotta get more aspirin. I said, okay, can I come the day after and get the rest of the drops? He's like, well, this is the amount. Yeah, you can do that. I said, good, I going home today. I can come back tomorrow so you can give me the rest of the drops. I ain't about signing here with one. I cannot do it because you know what happened, and I really cannot see this nurse. Real thing, I cannot do that. So he said, okay, I understand. So I went home, and when I got into my house though, I bawled. I sat down in the chair and I bawled and I bawled and I bawled. I just bawled for hours. I couldn't stop crying. I bawled for hours on end. And what made me cry more was seeing my boyfriend. My boyfriend, because he had to provide for us for the 6 months. And I didn't see him. All I was thinking of was the kid and making sure the kid was good. That's what we called it, the kid. And I didn't really see him for him. So once the baby was out and I saw my boyfriend, he got so small, and I could, because his mom had died too, and I saw the pain he was going through and I could not see it. And that made me cry, seeing him that way. It made me cry, and it made me cry. I cried for my kid, but I cried more for him. You know what I mean? I told him, well, this is it. For the last few months, you've been doing what you needed to do as a father. And the one thing that I was supposed to do, I couldn't even do it right. I could not do it right. And he was like, you can't blame yourself for something like this. This is not your fault. You cannot blame yourself for this. And I just hugged them and I was like, I am sorry. I am so sorry that I couldn't do this for you. The least I could have done was do this for you. Yes, you. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope that you enjoyed my video, and thank you so much for coming to my page. So I would like for you to subscribe, and I also want you to watch the last video, and I hope that you enjoy everything on my channel. Thank you.